Let's get to the game, and I'll figure the bot problem out later. We're gonna have plenty of time in between games. All right, guys, here
Oh
we go,
my
bringing
god.
you Game 1 ARPDN, spawning on the north side here of North versus MBRA.
Yep, over on the I'll talk about the ARP side of things. We've
Sounds
got
good.
I love Captain Stevie X. So my cat has become a captain of the Kremlin, so that's exciting. We've got Yamato there with Man from Mars. We've got a Stalingrad, Moskva, Des Moines, and another Des Moines. And Montpellier has decided he's not happy with her. He started, so he's going to the other side of the map in his Henri.
It's an Henri.
And then we've got a Daring and a Summers.
MBRA playing a lineup that looks vaguely reminiscent of the wall of the Soviet Iron Curtain Wall of Steel, Zaf. They got 4 Stalingrads in their lineup, complemented by a Zao, a Shikishima. First time that ship has entered King of the Sea play this time around. A Kurfürst, Gearing, and Shimakaze.
I'm excited to see Shikishima.
I am too. I'm just going to be curious to see if the penetration on those guns makes any difference at all. Now, I will say this, MBRA's Stalin that crashed out earlier is not moving. It looks like he may have crashed out again. That's Akira Man here, yeah. MBRA is also making some odd choices here. They're trying to reposition. It looks like they're trying to reposition everybody over to the ACAP, but they can see TD's Des Moines is getting just absolutely hammered. They lost vision on him. But they had sight of him for a little while and put some good chunks into him.
Yep, they can only see Man from Mars right now.
A little bit of return fire coming in on one of the Stalins. A little chip damage, nothing major there. MBRA making a hard push to the west. Literally every ship on their fleet is headed in that direction, except for Akira's Stalin, which is just sitting still. And who's this? This is Destruction's Stalin. He's pointed that way. He's just kind of angling. He's kind of derping around. I'm not sure what he's doing down here south of B.
Good question.
ARP, in the meantime, making a hard push for an AC split, of course. They're daring. That's ZPA-83 will be on the top of C momentarily. There he goes.
Yep. TD has put himself in a Des Moines to block out BCAP. He can just go in and radar it if it gets contested. So he's just that trapdoor spider.
ARP seeming content to just leave B alone while they make their AC push. Tango Kilo Mike Shimakaze putting torpedoes now across the A cap as he works the southwestern corner, not going into the cap, which I find interesting because let me have a check here. I don't think ARP has any radar that could cover the A cap. No, they don't.
Nope.
And MBRA has played their Stalin so far back, they're actually not able to radar the A-cap and prevent this. MBRA's initial deployment, very chaotic. Akira now seemingly in the game as he and the Shikishima are headed over towards C. Shiki just took some good chunk damage there from Man from Mars.
Yeah, he's been working on Montpellier, but apparently his guns have been slightly off. I mean, it's difficult when you only have 2 barrels per turret.
Well, if you know, with that few shells, you got to make them land. You got to make them count.
Exactly.
4 minutes gone. ARPDN taking up a small lead. 50 points here on North as the game starts to get underway. Early cap advantage definitely going their way.
Here comes some radar. That's Chris McCann and the Stalingrad.
Indeed. Stalin radar coming up, spotting the gearing there south of B as Tango Kilo Mike is about to step onto Alpha. I guess he's figured out the Summers has moved off or whatnot. They are going to get some damage into Brazilian's gearing.
Not too much, though. I
Not too
thought
much.
there would have been a little bit more.
Not too much. It occurs to me I don't have any music for this. I'm going to have to work on that before the next game. ARP seeming content to kind of let MBRA work the A flank. MBRA is going to pick up A here momentarily. They do finally have Golden Hand Summers radared up here, apparently. He's spotted somehow. But most of MBRA is all down there south of A, and the Shiki and the Stalingrad over here south of B seem to be just kind of trying to hold up any kind of perceived push that might be coming through the sea cap.
Yep.
Marcel's Shikishima living dangerous here, slowing broadside to a Kremlin and a Yamato and getting away with it. Now trying to get turned away.
Well, that ultimate disrespect though did save him from some daring torpedoes.
Did indeed. If he had turned in and just kind of pulled up the handbrake, those torpedoes would have definitely landed home. More Kremlin shells coming in, but the angle on that's pretty steep. Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe a pen in the bow, but not much more than that. As now ZPA's daring chimes in.
Feels like both teams are just they're afraid to commit too much for the fear of losing a ship or two and then throwing the lead.
Well, too much too soon, right? Like you've got to be very, very careful.
For those of you guys who are new to the tournament, one thing we want to mention is we have the ability to see both teams without any sort of fog of war. Keep in mind, obviously, that the teams that are playing, they don't have that luxury.
Correct. Correct. And I'll demonstrate for you guys watching my stream, right? Like, okay, so I can push a button, and this is what ARP sees. This is spectator mode. So now I'm seeing exactly what ARP is seeing. I can change buttons, and now I can see exactly what MBRA is seeing. Or, with a touch of another button, I can see everyone on the entire board.
Yep. Hats off to Wargaming for putting this in.
Spectator
it's so much
mode.
Easier
Spectator
than
mode
the old way of doing it.
So sexy. So sexy. Now, MBRA, go ahead.
One thing I do miss is when you would say, "Hey, Zath, where's so-and-so?"
That's right.
I'd be like,
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. Now, MBRA seems to be reorienting for a B push here. Their gearing has worked back into the bottom of the cap. They've moved one of the Stalingrads in close to cover this cap. But it does mean that they've kind of hung Marcel's Shikishima out to dry over here. He does not have a lot of support as he's continually getting shelled by somebody he can't see over on from the 9 line. He does get his salvo out on Commander Droid's Moskva. Doesn't get a whole lot out of it. Oh, Marcel takes a big hit there, probably from the Kremlin astern of him that he can't even, again, he can't see.
Yep.
MBRA is
under fire too.
Yeah, MBRA is really struggling with their vision control right now. They're having a hard time seeing kind of some of these high-value targets. They have no idea where the daring is.
3 ships. They can only see 3 ships right now.
Indeed.
Then again, ARP can only see 2, so...
Yeah, but the 2 they can see, they are absolutely hammering. I cannot imagine that Marcel is going to be in this game much longer. There's the Moskva, the Des Moines. There's 2 different Des Moines and the Moskva all throwing shells at him. I mean, he's going to have to pull way back. He's on double fires. At a minimum, he's going to be pushed so far back he'll be largely ineffective for a while.
Yep.
Nine minutes gone. Time just kind of ticking away here. 110 points separate these 2 teams as each one of them ticks up a cap. Nobody able to cap B here. ARP, of course, has moved in 2 different radars towards the B cap. There's basically no chance that either one of these MBRA destroyers is going to have an easy time capping B.
Look over at A. Look at Impious Machina. He's going to take at least 1. Decent reaction. Okay, he'll be all right, but that's going to mess up his plans. He was going to, I think, move farther along the smokes.
1 Summers Torp there as Brazilian is radared south of B. Shells coming in, 500 HP, trying to escape with his ship. His next salvo from the Des Moines or the Henri will probably end him.
He's trying to make Inky. We'll see if it works.
He put up his smoke now that the radar is out. More shells continuing to come in. They're just guessing now. He's on 500 HP. There's no reason to not just keep trying. The one thing he's got going for him is that it's challenging to gauge depth in smoke. When someone is smoking away from you, it's very challenging to try to figure out how that's going to work.
Yep, looks like they've given up on him.
They have indeed. Valerius's Des Moines has boldly pushed around bottom end of C as he moves up with a Stalingrad on his flank and a daring in front of him.
They smell blood with that Shikishima.
Well, Marcel is healed up a bit. He's back in the fight on
Oh,
about a quarter HP, but he just chunks Valerius.
yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, yeah. Valerius just got absolutely hammered by somebody. The Stalingrad of the south has a decent angle on him, and apparently the Shikishima did as well.
I think that might have been the Kerr first.
Somebody certainly chunked him.
Yeah. Destruction might be headed for destruction with some daring torpedoes.
Quite a close game here. MBRA rotating their destroyers now. Brazilian retreating, not going anywhere near B anymore, as they're trying to push Impius's Stalingrad around the top end of this island on the eastern side of A, but ARP seems ready for this play.
Well, I don't know if they're ready for Shimakaze torpedoes. Commander Droid taking probably 2 here.
He took at least 1. There's the second one. Oh my goodness. On 4,800 HP now.
Who can hit him? Impius, but Impius is taking some hits too.
Impius needs to get back under cover, although he is throwing HE in that direction. We'll see if they can get Droid. 11 minutes gone. Still nobody on there. First kill of the game does go to MBRA. That narrows the gap, but it does not change the lead. Not quite. More torpedoes coming in for Impius. Looks like he's got them spotted. He's found himself a nice gap. But the Henri shells coming from the north will probably eventually get him. I can't imagine that they can keep those off him forever.
Yep. He needs that Shimakaze smoke.
I feel like Zath, they should have sent 2 Stalins that way instead of just 1. I think sending 1 that way basically allowed ARP to focus him out, which of course has happened now. Both teams on 1 kill. 8 minutes to play here. I also still feel like Valerius's Des Moines is a soft spot. MBRA seems to recognize it as well. They're rotating Marcel's Shikishima back in that direction.
Well, at this point, you kind of have to go back around the flanks and you have to try to make some sort of a turning move happen. You've got to hope that ARP has basically, pushed out too far.
Yep, indeed. Golden Hand Summers now chasing Tango Kilo Mike's Shimakaze back towards the A-cap as Tango Kilo dumps a boatload of torpedoes out there for Montpellier's Henri, and the Daring is getting hammered. That's ZPA's Daring.
Yep.
You almost get the sense, Saf, that ARP maybe got a little too aggressive south of C. I don't think they needed to move these ships up, and admittedly they haven't lost them yet, but if they do, it's going to really change the complexion of this game.
Well, and that's what I was talking about with the overextending, right? Like, it's very easy to start chasing and thinking, okay, they've given up this flank, we need to press. But you don't necessarily need to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas I think MBRA's problem is that they won the flank over at A, and they didn't press. That's what you were talking about earlier with sending 2 Stalingrads up that way instead of 1.
Yeah, I feel like they should have swung more than just the 1 ship around the island and continued pressing differently. Montpellier's got Stalingrad shells coming in. Did he dodge them well? He did indeed. That could have been a catastrophic salvo, but it turned out okay. Chris McCann's Stalingrad also taking a solid hit as he plays that gap over there in between the B and the C cap. Valerius on 1,800 HP. Ugh. That Shikishima has to be salivating for these shots, man.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he is.
A single solid pen probably wipes out this Des Moines.
Well, but Valerius is now healing.
Yeah, he's managing to get a heal off. Akira's going to take probably 1 of these Daring torpedoes right in the bow. It's a really close game, Zath. We're coming up on about 6. We're just past 6 minutes left to play. Neither team has a clear-cut advantage.
Right. Akira went ahead and radared, caught the Daring out. A couple of salvos coming in. There's another radar coming up from Chris, I think, in the Stalingrad in the middle. Destruction's under heavy fire.
They've been working on destruction for several minutes now. They've whittled him down to about 25% of his health, but he's still alive. But he's got 4 ships pounding on him, and he's just screwed up. Like, he could have potentially handled his ship better in this gap and gotten cover, but he didn't do it. I think they're going to bag him. They're going to bag him eventually. Probably he'll be the next thing off the board.
Austin Powers himself right there.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the next thing off the board, Zath.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes to play. ARP clinging to about a 100-point lead here.
Oof. Chris just got hammered, I think, again from the Kerr first.
Could be. Destruction's going out, Zath. 2,300 HP and falling.
No, it was Destruction Shells, I think, actually.
Could be. Chris McCann now also getting quite low. Destruction deciding he's going to sell his ship dearly, but he'll go off the board right here. That puts ARP a little closer to a win, but they're not there yet. And their sea flank is under a lot of pressure. There goes, yep, there was the Shikishima salvo on Chris McCann. They pushed him back. That ties up the kills again.
4 minutes left in the game, guys. Anybody can win.
A single kill will not flip the score. We saw that earlier. So even if MBRA bags another kill, it's not enough to flip the score. They need 2 kills, or they need more than that. Oh, the daring torpedoes on the Shikishima. Oh, yep. What a salvo! What a salvo! Oh, look at it!
Big salvo.
Look at this!
Oh, that's a salvo.
What a heroic torpedo salvo from ZPA. Well done. Goodness gracious.
Songs will be sung of that day.
Indeed. What an amazing... Wow. He gave a rack to the Stalin and a rack to the Shiki, and he got them both. Well done.
Very good.
MBRA running out of time. They're going to have to make a play and do some pushing. I'm really surprised to see this Kerr first has been lurking back here all games out. He's now finally moving up the 4 line, kind of trying to make this interesting.
Kind of feels like they weren't. There goes Akira. They kind of weren't that sure what to do with him.
I gotta say, Zath, the heroes for me, the heroes of this match are this Daring and Valerius' Des Moines. ZPA and Valerius have almost single-handedly held this flank against a Shikishima and a Stalingrad and made it work.
Yep.
Under 3 minutes, but time's ticking away here. ARP closing in on a win, less than 90 seconds away. The MBRA Kerr first is going to eat at least 2 of these Summers torpedoes as they come in, if not 3. Nope, just 2.
There it is.
I don't think MBRA's got this at. ARP did such a brilliant job of locking down the B cap, and then ARP just, they pushed, they saw what needed to happen over at C, but I feel like they didn't rotate enough force back there to really push that pressure point and make it happen.
Right. Well, and, you know, we were talking about the Stalingrads with MBRA. I think the other problem is over at A side, you know, they overextended the one Stalingrad. He got himself killed over time. That's it, right?
Yep, indeed. Well played by both teams, but ARP coming out on top here in Swiss play. Well done.